interesting. There's a slasher. It doesn't seem like okay. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing a mono black deck, but beyond just playing this, we are going to be playing one that has performed incredibly well by the username of Cove on untap.gg, which would be their name on Arena. So this is their profile. Don't mind the ad. I don't know what's going on, but we are going to play their list. As you can see, they have gone from, I believe it's silver 4 to Mythic by only playing one deck. This entire bar being blue means it's the only deck that they've been playing, and they've gone 99 and 41. As we can scroll down and look all at their analytics, as you can see, we've opened it up. 6-0 from Diamond 1 to get in. A sad one-day rager, apparently, where they played one match, lost, and they put a hole in the wall. Whatever it may be. But they got to Mythic by playing this, I believe. At least, if they didn't just play this, they got there by playing this, right? 71% win rate over that amount of games is pretty impressive. 10 hours and 32 minutes on this deck alone. So that's pretty awesome to see. But back onto the list so we can kind of see the actual breakdown here of it and how it's kind of constructed a bit easier, because Arena's client is good for that. We have 4 Duresses, and on the removal package, or I guess I'll talk about this card, we have 4 Duresses, 4 Deep Caverbat, and 2 Liliana. I like to kind of include Slasher a bit in this category because it always requires a removal spell +1 or some other trick to get it off the battlefield, so it kind of acts as both, but that's not actually one. We have 4 cut downs, 2 Shieldred's Edict to get around things with Ward, along with Nowhere to Run to get to smaller things with Ward, but this also answers like a Valgavoth, for example, if that gets reanimated against us, or just some pesky kind of Planeswalker that we can't deal with, like a Kaido or something. Other than that, we have Go for the Throw in here as well, along with 2 Anoints to make sure there's Heartfire heroes. When we kill them, they stay dead and they are exiled forever, and we just don't have to worry about them. But outside of that, we have the 1-punch combo, which we get to actually perform today, which is sweet. But going down to 3 copies of Bloodletter, which typically has been a clunky card in the past, but you always kind of want to play 4 because when the Slasher does it, you know, you want to have that option. But I do like the 3 here, and it does show up a bit in the video where I kind of have enjoyed not always having one, because again, sometimes you're not ready for a Bloodletter, and just finding it later is much better. But of course, we have 2 Archfiends because it's kind of one of the better cards in our deck in terms of removing stuff and getting rewarded for it, and also a 6/6 body that also triggers on our Unholy Annex is awesome as well. And then if you play a Bloodletter after an Archfiend, that does 12 damage on its own, so it does just chunk away. And then if we remove a creature or something, then it does 4, so adds up pretty quick. The other cool thing in here, obviously, for Unholy Annexes, because it's just the best card in our deck. But the other cool thing is not overloading on the Soulstone Sanctuaries. There's only 2 in here instead of the typical 4, and 23 Swamps. So you just don't get muddied up by having 2 copies of this in your opener very often, which has been pretty nice. I've actually enjoyed that quite a lot too. So this deck list, if I was playing mono black in the future, or what I probably will be playing in the future, I will probably most likely be sticking to this list. It worked out very well. It was very fun to play, and these matches will definitely show that, as we just run through like 7 games very, very quickly, and it's pretty awesome. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so our opponent mulliganed. I'm going to keep this 7. I have a lot of removal into Duress. I honestly didn't think my opponent was here, so I actually stopped the recording, and then literally as I clicked the stop recording button, they kept their hand. I was like, oh, all right, cool. So this is scary, but I think I just wait. It's not like that scary, but it is. And if the turn comes into land, all right, Monster Trade's literally not available. They do nothing. I'm just going to cut down this Higher Claw when they get to combat, because again, they literally cannot Monster Trade me. Higher Claw will deal 2 damage here, so we'll get rid of it. The Swift Spear can kind of do whatever. The rest could come into play, but without a Monster Trade available, I just don't think I'm worried about it anymore. I think I just wait, just slowly remove everything, play Slasher, use it as a removal spell. Again, no spells allowed to be cast, so I will take 1. Okay, I was just saying, I'll take 1 to remove like a Manifold Mouse on their end step or something way more important But I don't think they realized when they kept their opener that this was going to hinder them so much. Because I assume there's Burst Lightning, Monster Strays, etc., in hand. And this just really ruined their whole day. Because you saw that brief pause for a second that they were like, oh, this does nothing, huh? Cool, we get it. We move on. All right, we have a really solid hand. We see the red sleeves, the red horse, the Jace. We're confused. They're confused. They're probably aggro, if I had to guess. There's a land into a higher claw, so we're just going to go ahead and pop that while we can. We're going to hold up an anoint for next turn. The only real issue will be is if we just draw straight lands here, which that draw is obviously a little tough. But I'm never too upset with that one specifically, just because that does allow us to kind of offload this side. There's a deep cavern bat. Maybe I just go for Unholy Annex here, why the kind of time is right. You know what I mean? We're at 20. We go to 18. And thankfully we are, because this drawing lands is going to suck really bad for us. If we end this turn cycle by taking 4 total, finding a cut down is huge. Go ahead and play this down just so we don't mess it up. Play a deep cavern bat here. Mono red stuck on 2 lands, but that's obviously not always going to be the case. And we're just slowly going to try to trickle this away. Screaming Nemesis sucks because of our Unholy Annex. They can't play it, and if they play it next turn, that'll be awful because I can't remove it. I think I'm just going to take Nemesis, and I'm going to cut down the Challenger, forcing them to maybe play their 3rd Challenger, or 2nd Challenger. Why did I think it was... Okay. I mean, I'm going to make a 6-6, and they just concede. Sweet. Thankfully, that game, our opponent just gave up, because based on our draws, we were looking a little tough here, just based on... We know how these go, man. You play against mono red, you start flooding or don't find the lands. It's a brutal one. All right. I mean, we keep going first. We keep seeing the same red sleeves. All my paid actors coming out in full. We'll keep. Always on the play here. I think you just want to barrel the duress, find out most information, because if they don't, for whatever reason, I don't have a way to deal with Corey Steele, so we'll just take that away. You can always cut down this stupid little otter. Double monster strays in hand, but they go with an island here, but because they have to, I believe. Their hand, I feel like the best case is just get this and not have to play around any tricks. Because worst case, they attack, they monster rage, and then they have a spell pierce held up, and then I don't get to remove that, right? Then that's other best case. So let's play this. We'll go right into a bloodletter after. Maybe they have a flood maw or something. Not. It's just this burst lightning holding priority, which definitely makes sense, of course. 3rd land. We've taken everything from them so far. Let's play one of the 3 bloodletters in our deck and draw all 3 copies immediately. Okay. The shuffler's fine, dude. This shuffler's fine. The craziest part is they're actually just dead here. Or not. Interesting. Okay. Well, we have them pretty much where we want them then, right? Because we just have more bloodletters to play. A little part of me wants to play this slasher. I could bring up this land. Do that just so I can hit them for 3. Or I can just unlock this. But if that gets Flood Maw, I feel a lot worse. I'm going to play Bloodletter. Because this is uncounterable, right? They have 2 Monstrous Rage. And if this is a Spell Pierce, feel fine. Like the Spell Pierce is just dead. It feels like maybe an Opt or another burn spell, maybe. Take 4. Again. And the reason why the other Bloodletter was lethal at like 16 is 2's going to hit double to 4, double to 8. And then 2's going to happen again for upgraded to 4, upgraded to 8. And just like that, if the rest is good enough, the removal's good enough, Monstrous Rage is dead. And we just take another game. These games have been pretty easy, but I feel like we're getting pretty fortunate at the same time. First again, this is probably going to be the greediest hand I keep today. But if we get punished, we get punished. I'm good. I don't want to touch any of those. They're dead. Like entirely dead. It does literally nothing in this match. Oh, we hit the land. Go for barrel here. If this is do nothing, land stock up, and if we hit the swamp, we get to play the bloodletter. Ooh, they don't go for it. I mean, that has to be a bounce spell, right? Maybe a counter spell. Confounding riddle here. We just get to do this. It has to be a bounce spell. There's no way, right? Yeah. I wish they would have stocked up so bad. That'd been so sick for us. Spell Pierce to the bottom. Still no Omniscience in the yard, so it's definitely a little bit tough. Okay, I lied. You know, Omniscience is actively in the graveyard. And we have no removal, so we have no reason to play soft around it. They miss a land. Now, this is like... damn if we do, damned if we don't, right? Because maybe I'm just supposed to bring up the land and hit him. That is the most aggressive line here. It drops him to 10, so it's lethal next turn. Play the land, abuelo it out. Come on, I believe in you. Dock up. So they have to find a bounce source and get there. I don't know. Have to find land and bounce, and it has to be blue. White. Combat. For 10. Oh my. Holy. What a crazy one. It's weird because the game is just on a knife's edge at all times, right? Because if they hit the land playing Abuela, which you have to imagine they have one, typically how it ends up, if they always get like stuck on a land, you kind of assume they have everything else. And if they don't have the land, then it's like, okay, once they hit the land, it's probably over. But yeah, we get it. Very sick. All right. Well, I told you guys earlier my hand was really greedy, but this one, it has to go back. And we'll keep and we'll throw an Archfiend. Every card in my hand's castable besides one. We get red. So thankfully here, we're just going to barrel duress and hope it hits something. So it's got to be a Monstrous Rage. It's like weird because I almost want to just like take a Lightning Strike, but with a Swift Spear, we 100,000% have to do it the other way. And then now we just play land, and then we pass, and then we look to anoint a creature here. Most likely if they commit a Monstrous Rage or like a Lightning Strike, we'll have to just go for a Swift Spear. It was weird. If we let this damage happen, right, it's still going to be the same as if I anoint something and then they respond with a spell here. That's the only thing I was like kind of afraid of. But now we get to anoint this. So it'll be exiled. And then we can Liliana minus. And then Lightning Strike will go for Liliana. Or we just Gildred's Edict and then hold up a cut down. And then maybe they barrel these and then Liliana's safe to come down later. Yeah, I like that plan. I think we just hold. Something like a Slasher being played here would also probably absorb 3 damage, which would gain us 3 life. Technically, in a way, right? Anything, boss? Sacrifice a non-token creature. That's gone. Looking pretty okay. Here comes a Heartfire hero. I will go for this, because if they commit a spell to save it, then Liliana's just going to be that much better, right? We draw a dead card. Nah, kinda. Do I play a Slasher and force them to Lightning Strike my Slasher? I think so. I don't think there's a world in which they don't. That also allows us to save our Liliana for a minus on this turn. Oh, they don't do it, but they think about it. Seems. Now this land 100% is just going to get hit with the discard effect. We attack, force him to Lightning Strike. Then we play Liliana. Did I say the land? I just play the land. What am I talking about? Just play land. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to have to discard the land. Just play it. That was the whole point. What are we doing? Now we plus again. If it's third-ish Lightning Strike, it is. They just go face. All right.
Drop it.
They hit a Challenger. Challenger should hit Lily. It does.
You chose the wrong day to cross me.
Do I care for the Lily here? I don't think so. I think go for the throat's way better. Just keeps us kind of able to react instant speed. And with 3 lightning strikes already used, I feel much more confident. Pop this. Save a third of our life total. Deep Cavern Bat's pretty interesting. I think I'll just play it. Worst case scenario, just blocks a creature. And we're 1 Bloodletter draw now away. Go for the throat's huge. Probably, other than Bloodletter to instantly win the game, it's probably the best draw. Outside of maybe Annex, putting a 6/6 down would be huge as well. Combat. I could duress this, but they'll respawn. Sure. In 8 turns, you're dead. Dead to this guy. Does not mess around. I guess I'll remove it. Alright, that did it. There was like an argument to be made to leave it just because there might be like another nemesis that I'd like to target. But if that's the case, we just take 3 from the nemesis and then hopefully find another removal spell, right? Sometimes I have those really bad ideas and I have to like smack myself on the forehead, be like, hey, dummy, just kill the creature. Just call it a day and move on. But we win the game. Very cool. All right, we go first. Very cool. We'll keep. We do have like a bridge turn, which sucks, but being on the play is awesome. So we're good there. Plants. Now it feels like our cutdown's probably dead. It seems like this might be a matchup that gives us our first loss because Jeskai control. Interesting. There's a slasher. It doesn't seem like okay. Bro, like, what? Dude, what am I playing? Sure, man. Every game is 1 minute now, I guess. I don't. Oh, dude, his sleeves are sick. This Mystic Remora is so cool. I love it. But we're going to keep this hand. We got a lot of interaction. In terms of, like, we can kind of disrupt our opponent's hand. We can obviously disrupt their on the floor plan. Then we have an Archfiend kind of coming over the top. It looks like, is it Corey Steelcutter? He's a blue-red land. Pretends like he knows everything. How dare he? I would assume it's a Corey Steel. Yeah. I guess mono black you kind of have to because you have to be afraid of the fact that we can duress you. You know, if we did have duress, we definitely would have done it. But here comes Deep Cavern Bant. Archfiend actually works well in this matchup over Monster Trade sucks. I think I'm okay with that. I'd much rather take the stock up. Stock up's so valuable here. Yeah, of course they're going to double opt and trigger this, which is all fine and good, but stock up digs so deep. Oh, okay. Finding removal instantly. That kind of sucks. Obviously, not a whole lot we can do about it. I could go Slasher here, but now that they have a creature, we're obviously in this weird tough spot. I can always go for the throat it, but I think I just go back to Deep Cavern Bat. Double stock up op Monster Trade. I think I take op and just hope they brick on a land. Taking, it's never fair. Yeah, I mean, no way I'm interacting with that whatsoever. Never fair. I think it's going to be the first one. I'll tell you that much. I think it's going to be the first lost. Lost? First loss. Go with Archfiend. This Archfiend can't allow us to rip a Bloodletter and kind of make all things good in the world. But stock up, find land, Monster Trades will definitely do it. But then the other creature can't attack. Maybe a bounce card like Blood Maw. Maybe they didn't go for that. No. Stock up would be fine. I don't think they're going to attack here, though. If they do, I think it's a little loose. And then we just get the Archfiend block and then go for the throat, nowhere to run, and just attack out. I think we get to kind of do that anyway. We want them to attack. Darn. We wanted an attack literally more than anything is what we wanted an attack there. So now it feels like nowhere to run. Taking out with Spear here makes a lot of sense to me. Then attacking for 7 and maybe holding to go for 3rd or playing a Slasher. I like playing Slasher here too. We want to be aggressive. About as aggressive as we can be. 4 life total at 17. Slasher is basically a jump in front of a bus simulator here. Double prowess. We could just die, but without a slick shot, I feel like it's less likely. Slick shot kind of makes all that difference whenever it comes to keeping us in check. Storm Chasers, double trigger here, go quite wide. Of course, Monstrous Rage is available. We will force them to invest it here. Creature's going to die anyway, and I'm going to... well, they can Monstrous Rage something else. This will still get 3, right? Yeah, I'd much rather make them Monstrous Rage something like that, I think. No? No investment? I just thought they would, to be honest with you. 7. Might get lucky here. We'll attack. How do we feel about this? Do I not just replay it? It's a weird one, that's for sure. Yeah, I just replay it. I don't know. Maybe this is wrong. Torch here. Actually, I'm dead, I think, if they have land. Maybe I'm supposed to commit everything here. Because now they can buy back Flood Maul, bounce, and I'm just dead on board, I think. They can opt look first. Oh no, they sacrificed that. Why? That was an easy win, I think. But yeah, leaving stock up also probably does that. But now they can opt and then Monstrous Rage, kind of whatever they need to Monstrous Rage. Here comes in. Opt. Yeah, we're dead. Well, they messed up before. They might mess up again. Who knows? I think it's impossible to mess up. This is... yeah, it's impossible to mess up. Yeah, I think they made that a little bit harder than it needed to be. Maybe. I don't know. I guess getting a stock up doesn't make it matter at all anyway. So, yeah. The thing is like, they would have only... but then I removed 2 of their creatures, right? And then I live here with that mistake. Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to just double remove and then just do the damage. Because this is only damage, right? There's no life gain to this. Yeah. So I guess I'm just supposed to like go for the throat, They would have what, 2 less. They might, but if they cast Monstrous Rage, I'm way happier about that. Yeah, I think I messed up. I'm probably just supposed to double remove and then try to see one more turn. But either way, sometimes I make mistakes and it happens. And it's pretty solid for going first. Like a 1 mana piece in this spot, but unfortunately we don't have it. Or like a 3 mana kind of connecting piece here would be sick too. Sultai? Well, speaking of 3 mana connecting piece, pretty good one. Awaken. Destroy target non-land permanent mill 3 cards. This card doesn't really matter to us. Deadly cover-up's annoying. Tap land, untap land. They might go Cornucopia. Destroy target non-land permanent actually sucks because we're going to play our Unholy Annex. And Unholy Annex can beat a deadly cover-up because we just make an extra demon or whatever. Or I play Unstoppable Slasher. Yeah, I think that matters a lot, because if this Slasher hits once, we're pretty pumped about it. They don't have this online. So I'm assuming it's going to be land cornucopia. Oh, tap land. So maybe there's removal here. Terra Sunder is a card I definitely am a little bit fearful for. Oh, and we hit the Bloodletter, which is kind of crazy. Attack. Takes half their life total. We're going to be fist pumping that. Sure. Why did they let that happen? They could have very easily just played another land and then played a cornucopia. We're going to take damage for this. Maybe it's a Terra Sunder, but I don't see why you would ever hold Terra Sunder up. Unfortunately, we missed on the land. But now, Archfiend's just good. Also, they missed a chance to deadly cover up here too, right? If they would have played a tap land, they just play the cornucopia, then they play land and then deadly cover up, but now they have to go for the throat, which is weird. I don't know. I don't really agree with all that at all. They're going to exile this, which is going to take their whole turn. They'll gain a little bit of life back. I'm hopefully going to draw a land here and get to play this Bloodletter. They didn't want to exile that because they thought maybe that they were going to deadly cover up exile it. But they'll get to exile our Bloodletters. I'll just miss. Unfortunate. That's actually such a bad miss for us. Because now the game just gets hard. Without getting that extra damage, and there's the land. I guess they don't get to deadly cover me up right away. Which then this will deal 2 damage. Barring something. I could just also go for like an Archfiend here. Just to trigger it anyway. Find that. I'm going to play Archfiend on the second man here. 1 land's making all the difference now. They're not playing this cornucopia, which is crazy. I definitely think the turn they took a turn off to play a tap land was insane to me. And they very easily could have done it the other way. Sure. 6. Bloodletter will put them to 4, or put them to 2. If they had cornucopia, they'd be gaining life this entire time. Kind of what I was referring to. Now, I do have to be careful because I can play this and blow up my annex. But yeah, they're going to get rid of Bloodletter, and I should be able to draw a card here. I mean, it has to be Bloodletter, right? Yeah. Or Archfiend. Why we didn't go for Bloodletter, because Deadly Cover Up was kind of their clear play of choice. The land would also be huge here, just so I can play it and then play the Bloodletter. The rest would be pretty sick to get rid of this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, team. Got this. Cease and desist. I mean, if they tap out for that, they do. Sure. Here's an Archfiend. Oracle's Odds, Bloodletter, one of the cards. Archfiend got exiled. I was calling this Bloodletter, this Archfiend. It doesn't really matter anymore. But, for example, whatever they draw, it will not eventually matter because Bloodletter will either hit them for lethal or will unlock this side and then it will be lethal and we get there either way. I do think that turn, maybe it was a mistake. I do think that turn they didn't play the cornucopia was just like the subtle mistake. Like when you're playing a card like that and you have the opportunity to gain life all the time and would have been able to deadly cover up the turn that I played the slasher down, I believe, and not taking the damage. Maybe I'm 1 turn off on that. But either way, then you gain life, right? And then you go from there over and over. And then maybe your deadly cover up doesn't exile anything. But find another answer, you know? It's just weird. It's just weird in general. But yeah, we take it. We move on. All right, so here we are in the outro. And do I love how this is built? Absolutely. I think it works really, really well. The 25 lands is nice. Not going overboard on the sanctuaries actually felt better than what I thought it would. And then things like Unstoppable Slasher and Bloodletter always being that 1-2 combo punch that we did get to do today, which is kind of crazy. Not often do I think that I get to do that combo, but my opponent just didn't play a color that accessed their colors and they lost, which is funny. But overall, Duress is great. It's a 4 of. The cut down's awesome. This Edicts is cool. The Nowhere to Run's cool. The Go for the Throat not being a 4 of is like so, but the Anoint makes up for it by making sure we're not taking all that damage from Heartfire heroes, so that's obviously great. 2 Liliana's not going overboard there. It just felt good, and clearly they have figured it out a bit when it comes to this deck and kind of the archetype itself and how they like to play it. But it would be funny if this is just a build because they didn't have enough rares or something. But you don't typically get to Mythic with one deck and not have it built the way you want, right? Like, if you're playing Corey Steelcutter, you're going to have the best version that, or at least the version you want to play. This is the version they played, and it's great. So, again, shout out to Cove for this kind of list. They didn't give it to me personally. I just found it on TCG or untapped.gg, and it just worked well from Silver 4 to Mythic. Here it is. This is the list. It worked out well. They one-shotted it over, I don't know how long it took them, but 99 and 41 worked out well. I mean, we went 7-1. That'll get you there, and we're also playing in Diamond, so that's kind of the goal, right? With all that said and done, I hope you all enjoyed the video anyway. Even though a lot of the matches were short, I can't control how those go. It's 8 games. Typically 4 to 5 is roughly what I do for time basis, but getting in and out of the games and all that adds up, and I am out of time for recording today. So, like I said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.